Let's begin to move with our feet under our hips, really tall. We'll breathe in and lift the arms up and exhale down. Breath in and out. Let's alternate the arms, one up and then switch. Squeezing the belly, lengthening through the fingertips. And then let's rotate the rib cage as the arms go out. The headlights of the hips stay forward as we turn the rib cage. Use the belly button to turn the body, ears reaching for the sky. Let's roll the spine forward now. The base of the skull all the way down to the last vertebrae. Hold at the bottom, breathe in. And bend the knees. As you straighten them, open out your chest to the side. Bend the knees, straighten and open your chest out to the other side. Your hips are sitting over your thigh bones like two baseball caps. And then bend one knee and the same arm on that bent knee side opens the chest. This will release a little bit more into the iliotibial band. And then turn the tail down and restack the spine. We'll rotate even further into some spine twist work. Again, the headlights of the hips are forward. Press the floor away and really reach out through the fingertips. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Breathing out and in on the turn. Finding your hand weights. I have one hand weight that is 2 kilograms. You can go heavier if you like. Hip width apart through the feet. Take your toe back in line with the back heel. Ribs and hips stay in one line throughout this maneuver. They simply tip the hips back and then exhale to get tall. Inhale and exhale. Shoulder blades are connected and you can feel energy of those shoulder blades pressing up into the weights. Grip to hold the spine steady. Tuck your tail slightly. Breathe in and lower. Exhale, belly scoops to rise deeply. We're going to start to, with that belly scooping really strong, press the arms up as one. So the arms come in line with the neck's in line with the chest, and the chest is in line with the hips as you tip everything back in that kick, stand, squat. The heel at the back stays raised, but the front foot is very much planted. Big toe, little toe, center of the heel. Breathe nice and strong as you hold the squat down. Exhale, press. Inhale, down. Keep scooping the belly like the right and left hip are moving in toward each other as the belly button pulls back to the spine. Tail slightly tucked and ears reaching away from the hips. Rise and then a little bit further back with your back leg. Weight is in the opposite arm to the leg that is going to hip extend. Just for 6. And exhale and inhale. So a little bit of extra work into the back hip, but this is really great for your balance. Ears are reaching for the sky, belly still really taut. And isolate that back hip as you front raise with your shoulder. Let's switch out to the other side. Hip width apart through the feet and take your toe in line with the back heel. Find ribs over hips, shoulder blades together, pressing through that weight. Long neck. Inhale, lower, scoop the belly, press tall. Breathe in. And exhale. So neck, ribs, hips all tip. And squeeze both sides of the hips like two sides of the one heart to push the floor away. Of course, back heel remains raised as the tripod of the front foot stays planted. After 6, you can start to push the arms up. So inhale, lengthen the arms up and breathe out and rise. Breathe in, sink, and you can test just how far you can maintain the neutral spine tipped back and really get those glutes to sort of fire and lift you as you scoop deeply into the core. Still tucking the tail, still reaching the ears away from the hips. Beautiful balance, and really push through the hand weights. Almost like you're following your pinky fingers with your scapulars as you press up. We're going to hold down and just do the arm line. Pumping, breath in and out. There is a lot of core contraction going on here to control a deep flexion back of those hips and a really long extension through the arms. And you'll feel the right and left hip gather together. Everything's kind of falling into the bowl of the pelvis through that long spine. A little bit further with the toe back, opposite arm is going to lift to a front raise using the deltoid, and then the hip extension. Scoop the belly, ears to the sky. Gorgeous balance. You can see here that I've not gone too deeply into a lordosis of the spine. Nothing's exaggerated. It's like a disassociation of that arm and leg out of the steady torso, and that's what you want. Keep flowing with this. Breathe in and out. Gorgeous balance, good connection through that floor foot. So go and grab your other hand weight. Coming down onto the mat, we'll find our knees under our hips here, and a 2 kilogram weight in each hand is what I've chosen. I'm breathing in and tipping my neutral spine as one back and drawing forward with the arms. The palms are to the ceiling, the collarbone is open, and a slight tuck of the tail. The front of the legs and the laces of my shoes are pressing down as I tip that spine back into my knee stretch. Exhale, arms come to the shoulder height, and inhale, lower. So I'll move this into a hugger tree. So arm series kneeling on the reformer was my inspiration here. So as soon as I'm able, I'm going to try this in the knee stretch. Elbows look to stay high and in line with the shoulders as you breathe out and wrap round arm bones around what you'd imagine to be a tree. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Trying our best not to let those elbows creep behind the shoulders. So now we'll go into our offering. So elbows sweep up from the smalls of the waist. As you exhale, tip the spine back. You can see the glutes firing. The ears are reaching away from those planted knees. And there's a lot of drawing back of the belly button to reach the ears away from the hips. Exhale, biceps, press through the hand weights up, and inhale, back to tall. Breathe out, offering up, and inhale, restack. And breath in. Let's add all that together, drawing forward, lean back, turn the arms out to hug a tree. Inhale. Looks like palms up a tray in front of you as you press the scapulars up to follow the pinky fingers in both this, the drawing forward. Inhale, open the chest, hug a tree. And as the offering comes down, the elbows come into the smalls of the waist. And again, follow the pinky fingers with the scapulars. Tall, strong, long spine. And exhale, draw forward. Inhale, turn and open the chest. Exhale, squeeze the pectorals to close that hugger tree. Bring the tray down to the smalls of the waist and press up. So only 3 of the combination is what we're looking to complete. Then coming down to the floor for shoulder bridges, we'll keep the hand weights. But in shoulder bridges, these weights are going to act like an anchor. So establish your neutral spine, bottom 2 ribs in line with the top 2 hips, the sternum and the pubic bone create like a coffee table type effect. Press the weights down like salt and pepper shakers, and that will help glue the arm to the floor. You're pressing down through the feet to raise the hips and coming back down. Look to elongate the spine and the torso pushed out through the knees, and to peel the tail up first. You're going to breathe out. We'll start to pick up the heels at the top, lay them back down and take the spine back down. So exhale, lift, plug the backside into the back of the knees. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, lower, and then inhale, take the spine down. Exhale, press the backside into the back of the knees. Press down through the toes as you lift the heels. And really still have the ribs follow the hips in that line. The hips don't kind of go so high as to send that lower back into too much compression. You want the torso to press out through the kneecaps. Let's pulse. So halfway down, halfway up, and every time you pulse up, feel the backside plug into the back of the knees. The feet pressing down are looking to want to be closer to the backside, and let's make a combination out of all of this. So press, lift the heels, down, up, down, and take the spine fully down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, down, up, down, and let's take the spine all the way back down to the floor. One more combination here. Up, heels down. One pulse. And then lay the spine all the way down. So now we will go straight into abdominals. Legs to tabletop, weights above the shoulders, and chest curl. So we're looking up and over the knees as we lift the shoulders off the ground, pressing those hand weights with a bit of oomph actually. Having them weighted really helps get a good deep core contraction. As you turn the bottom two ribs down, you can even look at your belly button to find that nice flexion of the spine. So it's an inhale, lower, and an exhale, turn the spine toward the knees. And now we will look to tap the right leg down, lift it, and bring the curl back in. Inhale, lower, exhale, knee comes back over the hip. We really don't want to move these hips at all. The arms and the chest are picking up over neutral hips. Thigh bone dances up, and inhale, lower. And breathe out and lift. And from here, we want to straighten this leg that's dancing. So up to the sky, feel length, and inhale, everything goes back down, and exhale, lift. So long leg stretches away, maintain neutral hips, breathe out, turn the bottom two ribs down, inhale, lower. Really try to pick up the chest, look down into your abdominals, breathe in and out, press through those hands, the hand weights. Lots of energy and concentration going everywhere. Leg really lengthens out of the hip socket as that non-moving leg is heavy in the knee down, helping the pelvis to anchor to the floor. Let's go to the other side. So legs to tabletop, and we'll have I think I was struggling with my coordination there. So we'll chest curl up and dip that left leg down now. Breathe out and turn the bottom two ribs down. And exhale. Breath in and out. Sink the belly button down into the floor as you lift. Feel the right and left hip knit together. Breath in and lower, and exhale, knee comes up and over the hips. So you can have the knees a bit closer to the forehead if you like, and assist that with a slight little bit of imprinting. But I just like keeping these angles quite tidy, hips stay neutral. So let's lengthen the leg out of the hip socket. Exhale, chest curl up, lengthen that leg to the sky, breath in. And down, turn the bottom two ribs, look down to the belly button, and inhale, lower. Lots of control of the thigh bones staying in line with the hip sockets. Try to keep the neck relaxed and long, actually. There's an elongation of the spine to lift up into that C curl. And breathe out and in. And we'll come all the way back down. Keep the legs in tabletop and go straight into a dead bug. Your belly button is drawing down to the floor as opposite arm and leg reach out of a very neutral, steady, planted torso. You'll feel your middle body balancing your top and bottom halves here. It's a really nice addition to that little bit of work we just did, and it will help us rest before we go into some more challenge with the abdominals. But it's the transverse abdominis that's firing, and you're getting a little bit of hip flexor work as well as some shoulder flexion. There's a fixed belly button down to the floor here as you extend the arm and leg away from that very stable torso. We will now go into a bit of a break. So hugging the legs into the chest, we want to cross them over and prep for some crab rolling. Rounding our spine into what feels like an Easter egg shape, down turning the ribs and tucking the pelvis. Find your roll, and we don't have to be too precious, but really concentrate on scooping the belly to massage the spine on the way down. Cross the legs over, roll back to the tips of the scapulars, up to the sit bones, a tuck of the tail, hold the roundness, swap the legs, and rolling back, massage the spine up, scooping the belly. I love this for a break, but it's really good prep for later when we go into a side lying teaser. And just even being able to control your spine in this roundness, swapping the legs, like the functionality of just having deep control of legs and limbs and spine and belly all at the one same time. It looks like fun. It almost looks childlike, but it's not, because we're going straight into hundreds. So I don't know if you saw that, but that's a double leg stretch, kind of sweep and hold into the hundreds, where you inhale 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. And inhale and out. Draw the belly button down into the floor, press energy out through the hands, turn the bottom two ribs down, look down into your belly button, press those legs out of the hip sockets. My thighs are glued together, my feet are straight, or you could do Pilates stance. You can be in tabletop with your feet, or even have your feet flat on the floor like in bridges with heels under knees, but hold this for 100. So breathe out of that, and we'll maneuver into just coming up to side lying. Side lying, neutral spine. We're going to exhale and take the top leg up in line with the shoulder, sweeping the belly button back to the spine. Neck, ribs and hips, one line. After 6, we'll hold the leg up and greet it with the underleg for an adductor lift. Adding that leg to the top leg, squeezing the belly, and there's lots of length in the spine. Slight tuck of the tail, ears reaching away from that, arm long, trying to minimize movement of the hips, but legs doing everything, especially as we join both legs together and inhale, prepare, and exhale, both legs lift up and away, working right into that waist. So inhale, lower, and exhale, lift. I want to bring my own top hip here forward, so the headlights of the hips are shining forward and the chest. Try not to look at your feet working. I think I'm preaching to myself there. As you keep that spine long, eyes are on the horizon. Sweep the arm over the top and into side-lying teaser. The top hip rolls back, imprint the pelvis to lift the legs up and reach with the arm. So overhead inhale and exhale, roll that top hip back, opposite rib to hip connection for the obliques. Scoop the belly and really try to hold that top teaser point with a pause moment, almost celebration. Lengthen, 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 and then coming down. Let's go to the other side. You can see that I've lined myself up with the back of the mat. Arm is long with the neck, neutral spine, feet forward of the spine, and exhale, lifting. That top leg in line with the shoulder. It probably doesn't need to go any higher than that, but 6 of those, and then 6 of it holding up and the adductor underneath, lengthening the bottom leg up to greet it. Exhale, inhale, exhale. And so just taking a stock take of the spine and shoulders and hips here, we are doing our best to have the headlights of the hips shining forward as well as the chest, not falling too far forward with that top shoulder. I would probably want my top hip to be a little bit further forward here. So inhale, prepare, and then exhale. Both legs lift up and away to work through the waist. The underleg specifically is a lengthening out of the leg and a lifting. And the belly button draws back to the spine. Breath in and out. We have 6 of both legs lifting. Before we overhead go into our side lying teaser, the arm on the floor comes out to T to help just give a little bit of leverage to the lift. The top hip rolls back, opposite rib to hip from the floor comes up, scoop the belly, imprint the pelvis up, up, up to the toes, reach to the sky, and inhale, control the lower, and exhale, roll the top hip back, opposite rib to hip, scoop the belly, chest and feet to the sky. And let's go one more just to prove our point. Inhale and exhale. Scoop the belly, imprint the pelvis up through those toes, lift, breathe in and out, and finish it there. To balance out the Pilates practice today, we haven't done any front support work, which is our quadruped. So just a basic neutral spine for a tricep push-up. The elbows are staying close to the smalls of the waist. There's really good connection, not just through the heel of the hands, but also all the digits of the fingers. Shoulder blades are squeezing behind me, broad collarbone. Ribs and hips are neutral and they move as one. Exhale, press the floor away. Inhale, long spine, ears reaching away from the hips. Scoop the belly. Your organs, your intestines are going to want to spill on the floor, but your transverse abdominis is holding your spine straight, but also holding your belly in. Exhale, press the floor away, and it's time to stretch. You absolutely deserve to stretch out the front hips. So knees under hips, shoulders over that. Take the right leg forward, and the whole torso moves with the thighs. You press that hip forward. Moving in and out of that, just feel where you can get that hip flexor and quad a bit of length. Good connection through the front foot as you really start to press that back hip forward, forward, forward. Scoop the belly. Now reach this arm right up to the sky. It's quite exaggerated as you press that hip forward. Deep scoop of the waist, big reach of the arm. You can flex your spine off to the side. So not only are you stretching the quad, the hip flexor, but that whole side body is getting release. And really breathe through this. Straighten the leg, tip the whole torso as one forward, and feel a hamstring stretch as you sort of kiss your knee and then lift the toe to the ceiling, pop the toe down. Keep scooping the waist, and that will help you keep the right and left hip even here. And you can start to feel the spine stretch over the length in the back leg, and then turn away from that outstretched leg to look behind you, releasing out through the hips even further and the spine. So let's now look to go to the other side. Hip width apart through the knees, step it forward, stack the neutral spine. And again, it's the whole torso, head, chest and hips that lengthen forward and a good connection through the front foot. And you can start to press the hip forward as you restack the spine. It's very exaggerated, that tucking of the tail, the imprinting of the pelvis, ears are really lengthening up to the sky, assisted by an arm that's really reaching to the sky. Super scoop the belly, press forward the hip as you side flexion the spine, and breathe to the exposed ribs. And really feel quad, hip, side body release, restack by reaching the arm to the sky, straighten the leg and tip chest and hips as one forward over. You'll feel the length in the back of the leg. Toe is up and toe is down, exaggerating how much of the nerves in the hamstring here get released as well. So be kind and gentle. If you need to have a little bend in the knee, you can, but maybe look to improve your flexibility, which is always kind to your lower back. And it's good to add this rotation here as well. Looking around that forward leg gives that extra bit of release through the spine and hips relationship. And then find your knees, roll yourself up, press your hips forward. Well done.